Chapter 5 The Mental Universe. The universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. So, last chapter we concluded that everything is spirit, or that the all is our spirit. But what does that really mean? So, the first thing that this chapter describes is that we can't describe the nature of spirit in its entirety in the same sense that we can't describe the all in its entirety. It is beyond us, though we know a few defining characteristics. To put it simply, spirit is the true essence of that thing. We know that spirit is the living mind, that is to say, it is not just the physical body or forces moving around abstractly. It is us being conscious and being aware of the different things that we do and the decisions that we make. The idea of spirit is nuanced from person to person, and this chapter leaves us to having our own conclusions about what spirit actually is. We move on to discussing how we fit into the universe as a whole. It starts off with discussing that the universe is a part of many universes, the multiverse, if you will, and that we are only experiencing one at a time, though there are these other layers of existence and other universes happening in tandem with ours. We are creations of the all, and so is the universe and the multiverse by extension. But how is the all able to create this, us, and everything that exists? We discussed that the all must be a fixed thing, that you can't truly change it. We also know that you can't subtract from the all, like the all couldn't take a part of itself away from itself, turn that into something else, and then say this exists, because then it wouldn't be a part of the all anymore, or it wouldn't be the all. So without using outside resources or materials, or begetting from itself, as in the process of procreation, like with humans reproducing, removing a part of themselves so that this new thing can be created, there is a third way that the all could have possibly created. That is, mentally, by thinking about it, it technically exists somewhere in a similar process to the way that we think about something and our thoughts exist in somewhere else that is not the physical world, at least not yet. In the same way that we're able to produce mental images and then breathe them into life in some way, whether that's an artist thinking of a cartoon that they want to create and then animating it in some sort of medium, it is similar to the way that the all creates us and breathes us into existence. We are its mental creation. It first conceived of the thought of us, and then in this physical world, it came to be. This physical world, though, is not a separate material outside of the all, though. This physical world is also a thought created by the all. We are essentially its thoughts living in the world that it created. That we are the thought of a living being living in this physical world. But one of the key distinctions about us is that we are sentient, we are able to experience, and we're able to make choices. I'll leave you with this thought process. Instead of thinking that we, as a creation of God or the all, are separated from it, that we are an extension of it. Think of it like a pond of water. Instead of separating a part of the water and saying, this is us, we are instead the ripples that occur in the pond when something occurs or happens. A quote from the Kybalion: "The all creates in its infinite mind countless universes which exist for aeons at a time, and yet, to the all, the creation, development, decline, and death of a million universes is as the time of the twinkling of an eye. Supposedly, one of the key aspects to our manifestation, or us being created in this world, is through the principle of gender. Again, this isn't about physical sexes or describing the all as being a man or a woman. It is saying that the idea of a positive force and a negative force have to come together in order to create something, or to manifest us in this instance. Even though the all itself is above the principles of Hermeticism, it still uses these principles in order to create us. The positive aspect, the divine masculine, is the ability to think intellectually or to have complex thoughts, while the divine feminine principle and energy is our ability to have form, as in this physical world. There needs to be the union or unity of a higher consciousness into this physical earth. And in the general, what's generally accepted is that the positive is put onto the negative, or the masculine onto or into the feminine. And that principle is seen in us as our bodies physically existing in this world, but a consciousness being projected into or onto it. You need both this divine masculine and divine feminine principle in order for us to exist, even though we are simply the thoughts of the all. Supposedly physical matter, or existing in this physical world, be it as a human or an object or like a metal, is one end of the spectrum of being or consciousness, and then the all is the other end of this. And we are meant to have this physical existence in this world as humans or as animals, as plants or whatever, and we are to have this successive progression until we reunite with the all. At the very least, that's what Hermeticism is teaching. Humans are meant to become more advanced as we continue to evolve together, and we begin to understand our own logic and reasoning, and we implement it in this physical world. With the New Age movement, or with modern witchcraft, I'm noticing more this honoring of the divine feminine and divine masculine principle, because the coming of these two together is what creates us and creates our sentience. And we are taught to be comforted with the fact that we are not alone in this world, and that we have a divine mother and divine father, at least in that abstract sense.